Libra, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-August 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Libra collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Libras? In mid-August. It is still Leo season, my good friends. Let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Libra in mid-August. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have ourselves some fun today, my friends. Let's get this card out nice and quick. We're going to have a good time. All right, a little sleepy, huh? Not sure if this is you. I mean, it could also be super imaginative. I get this energy very often in water sign readings. And every sign can get it, but like the energy to me does feel a little bit sleepy. So again, proper rest, my good friends. There's a lot of other stuff with the card too. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady. She kind of looks like she's doing some sort of yogic pose. Maybe she's in the fetal position. She has that blanket draped, and it kind of does look like a dreamscape to me. It does have a rainbow, which does imply that this isn't a negative energy. So again, whether it's something to do with sleep, whether it's something to do with dreams, you might be receiving a lot of information and downloads and stuff like that in the sleep state. So you might want to journal that stuff down when this card shows up. But it's also super creative. Remember, it's like etheric. It can deal with like an expansion of consciousness. So whether you're connecting with your inner voice, doing a little more spiritual practice, it's like I'm expanding my mental possibilities, which I think is really good. But you might have an extra creative edge to you. So whether it's through creative problem solving, creativity in general, whether it's like writing or music or art, this is really fantastic. It's great for that. The only downside to it is that if you're not tired, if you're not having sleep issues, this energy can be a little Four of Cups-esque, where it's like a little daydreamy, head in the clouds. But I think it can be good for a lot of you. So we're just going to let her chill right there. Very good for spirituality. But let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. Let's shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Libras. And while we do, let's talk about last week's reading, because it was definitely peculiar for a Libra reading, that's for sure. The reading was titled An Explosive Risk. Now, again, you know with these readings, it's not just your energy, it could be whoever. But the energy felt fiery. It felt like it was willing to risk it for the biscuit, so to speak. It felt urged, if that makes sense. So just know in the coming days and weeks, just watch out for urges, watch out for like snap decisions, snap actions. That was a big thing that was showing up. We're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for the lovely Libras. Let's do our little energetic weather report. What do we got? Cool. 2 of Pentacles. Very good in a Libra reading. Okay. Balance. I mean, it could just be busy, busy, busy. But we will get down to the bottom of that. Let's get a couple more. What do we got for Libra? Okay. Page of Swords. Watcher. Okay, that is one of your power cards, too. Let's get him tucked in right there. The cards are trying to travel on their own. Okay, let's get one more. Okay. I'm very neutral about what I'm seeing here. So we do have the Ace of Wands right next to this page. I'm cautiously optimistic so far with what I'm seeing, because there does seem to be an intensity that picks up towards the back end of the spread. Well, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading, gives us a pretty good foundation to work with. And there's a good mixture this week. There's not too much of one thing or another. We have earth, air, fire. Now, the air and fire actually work very well with people with Libra placement, so that's good. Most of this should be comfortable for you. Now, when it comes to earth, I would say that's the realm of security and stability, whether it's internal or external. When I look at Earth, I think of outside things, outside forces, outside circumstances. It could be, aside from the stability, it could be things like work, money, business, finance, home, and family. So, all the material things about the reality that we live in, which could be good. The only downside to Earth, and it is very routine, that's another thing. So it's like every day at this time I do this, like it's a creature of habit. But the downside to the Earth is that it could feel stuck sometimes. It could get bored. It's an energy that feels a little stagnant. So watch out for anything like that. It could feel stuck. In the center, we have air. That's your power element. That's your comfort zone. Beautiful. It is very cerebral. It's of the mind. The biggest thing I always say with air is that it deals with perspective, perception, how we view things. And remember earlier in the reading, I was saying there's like an expansion of consciousness. That's actually good that we have air in this spread too, because it works with it well. But the biggest thing with air, aside from strategy, planning, very cerebral, it's about the facts. The biggest thing is exchange of information, whether you're looking for it, whether you're giving it, whether you're receiving it. Air is all about the facts and wanting the information. That's why it's the suit of communication. Not only is it the suit, there's also a card of communication. There's a lot of chit chat this week so far. The downside to air is that sometimes it could be cold, it could be a little surgical, but it can also represent overthinking. Now, on the back end, we have a little bit of fire, so obviously we want to keep a close eye on this fire air combination because that can make things flare up. But fire is all about action. So it's like we have the results and then we have the strategy and the planning and then the actions being taken. So whether it's your action, someone else's, it could be any and all. Um, I like fire because it's high vibrational frequency and it's very intense. It's good for health and wellness too. The only downside with fire is that it's very hard to contain. It's an energy that could be explosive and unpredictable, very similar to what we saw last week. So there is that lingering fiery energy in the mix, especially next to the air. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, Two of Pentacles. We spoke in depth about the element itself, and you'll see that shades of that still come through. Now, when it comes to all twos, they represent decisions, choices. Do I do this or do I do that? So some of you might be at a crossroads of some sort. But the Two of Pentacles to me is beautiful. It's harmonious. I mean, we do see the infinity symbol right there. So there is this spiritual karmic aspect to the card as well. But when I see the Two of Pentacles, I think of balance and harmony. Perfect thing to show up in a Libra reading. We'd normally like this. Now, when we get to the challenging side of the Two of Pentacles, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. This person is literally balancing and juggling. So this card can show up when you have a lot on your plate, when you're very busy, when your mind is in a lot of different places. Like, oh, what am I going to do when this happens? Like, there's a lot of thinking into the future with this. So the energy does do a bit of juggling. So there's something to watch out for there with that, because this energy can get overwhelmed. Now, moving to the middle, we have, again, one of your power cards. We have the beautiful Page of Swords. Now, I like all pages to me. They represent communication, they're messengers, and they're also students. So, the suit of communication and a card of communication right here. The Page of Swords is cautious, though. This energy does have its guard up. It's a little skeptical of someone or something. Right? You see him, he's got the sword. So he's not letting that guard down. That's the difference between this page and the others. This one might take a long time to acclimate. So for some Libras, maybe there's certain things that you're still getting used to, whether it's like different things in your schedule, different ways of life. It's like I'm still getting used to something when I see the Page of Swords. Or it could just be a talk, right? Like we'll just have to see. The downside, I don't even want to call it a downside. This is a very observant card. So sometimes it'll show up when Spirit says, like, hey, Libra, keep your eye on this. Hey, Libra, hey, you're under the microscope, right? Like there's something about this that's being observed or wants to be observed, right? So whether it's a situation, whether it's a person, it's like eyes on. So we're going to look into this further. Now, moving to the back end, we have another card of communication showing up, and I do like the Ace of Wands, but I would say it's like a mini tower to me. Now, all aces are opportunities. All aces are offers. They're all pretty good. They're fresh. They have a lot of energetic potential, very similar to the pages. So this is good. There's like a lot of energetic potential I'm picking up this week. However, the Ace of Wands, since it is fiery, it could be explosive in nature. It could be something that flares up. Now, if it is energy levels, remember it's high vibrational frequency. So the urges, I'm going to do this. I'm getting myself amped up. It's like somebody talking themselves up to do something. That's normally what I see with this, but it's very sudden, right? Like, and the conversation as well. So aside from offers and opportunities, it's like these energies on the back end are chatting it up. So we have a lot to really dig into here, Libra. I want to dive deeper. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. Pardon me. What do we got for the lovely Libras? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Two of Pentacles. See what that has. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Libra, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Two of Pentacles. Why is the Two of Pentacles here? Okay. Okay. I like it. I do like it. So you know how I was saying there was something about some, like, maybe getting used to something, especially like with how the energy's playing off of each other. We have the Four of Swords in reverse underneath the Two of Pentacles, and I guess this is really dependent on what you're going through and what your situation is. Because for some of you, it's like I'm taking my time with something. I'm slowly acclimating or slowly getting used to something, or I'm slowly making an action. That's how this feels. It's like, you ever walk into a room where someone may be sleeping and you're like tiptoeing in? That's how this feels to me for some reason, where it's like, I'm going to keep quiet. I'm not going to disturb anything. I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to say it feels sneaky or anything like that. It's just an energy that doesn't want to disturb anything. Where it's like, okay, everything's cool, everything's in place. Let's not disturb it. Like, but it's like slowly making moves. That is so unique. I don't think I've gotten that in a long time. Like, even for personal readings I've done in recent weeks for Libras, I haven't seen anything like that. It's like an energy that's like creeping in nice and slow with the Four of Swords. But the other message I'm picking up here for Libra is with the Two of Pentacles, the juggling, the Four of Swords in reverse. This is another card of rest and sleep and energy, healing, right? So in reverse, underneath the Two of Pentacles, it's like an energy that's acting fine that really isn't, right? Or an energy that might be burning the candle at both ends and is just expending too much energy. So just watch out for those two things. Yeah, we got this creeping, quiet, slow moving type of energy that's not trying to make waves. But then we have this other energy here that might be on the verge of burnout. So watch out for that. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're not going to overcomplicate it. It is what it is. But what's going on the page? That's so unique. That's so unique how that showed up. All right, so why is the Page of Swords here? Why is the page here? Really want to see what these two are about now. This energy is like locked in. This energy is locked in. All right, so we have the Seven of Cups in reverse underneath this Page of Swords. Um, this energy, whether it is keeping a very, very close eye on you, or a very close eye on something, or that maybe there's something you are keeping very close tabs on, to me, it's like, I will not be distracted. I am focused on this. This is the goal, and this is what I'm going for. It is locked on. That's how this feels to me. Again, there's something here about the difficulty with sleep, or something with the dreams, like, because the Seven of Cups, Four of Swords, these are dream cards, sleep cards. And if you remember the very first card, a dream card, a sleep card, I don't know what this is. But in the center, the Page of Swords, the Watcher, with a card of options in reverse, where it's, to me, it's like, I'm not getting distracted by this, I'm not getting distracted by that. I'm locked in on something. So just know, in this time, Libra, you might be getting a little more attention than you normally do. Maybe someone's locked in and keeping tabs, or it could be at work. Again, it doesn't have to be anything creepy, right? Like, I know with this energy in the front and this one in the center, I'm not trying to creep anyone out, but there is this observing. So for some of you, that could be advice, like, hey, keep very close tabs on this situation. Treat it seriously. Keep an eye on it. There's like something that needs to be observed, or continues, or needs continued observation. So there's something being watched, or something that needs to be. And it is like very, very locked in. Let's keep going. We're going to go in on the Ace of Wands. I mean, very unique this week, Libra. So why is the Ace of Wands here for my good friends? I mean, I like a locked in energy. That could be a good thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Okay. This energy might jump the gun a little too quick. All right, so we have we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse underneath this Ace of Wands. So, you know, the example I'll give, have you ever seen like track and field races where the races are, they're lined up at the starting block and then you have the referee that shoots the gun and they all race? This to me feels like a false start. um, like in football, where like before the quarterback snaps the ball, someone jumps, or right before the gun goes off at the race, someone takes a first step, or they move early. There's something here right on the front where it's like, damn, I acted too quick. I don't want to call it a mistake, but to me, it does feel like a false start or jumping the gun. Now, the Ten of Pentacles, I don't I don't feel like it's ruined, but like when I see the Ace of Wands with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, I could have got a better result, or this could have gone a better way. So it's like this energy here was being so careful, so locked in, and then boom, there's like this false start where it's like, damn, I should have just waited a little bit longer. So again, watch the urges in this time, right? Especially with what we saw very early in the reading. Now, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse can speak of change, right? Like usually in the upright, it's very planted, very grounded. In reverse, it can represent a change. To me, I just feel like watch the urges still, like what we saw last week. Also a big believer in divine action, right? I do think there's sometimes where we have an urge or a feeling to do something, and it's good to follow that urge. If you have a very good locked in intuition, feel free. But there is also this other thing where it's like, okay, just wait a little bit longer, Libra, like you're almost there. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. That's so unique this week. But if you kind of look in the box, there's like this whole undertone of like sleep or issues with it or dreams. Like there's a lot of stuff going on there. But position number one, we have the Two of Pentacles with the Four of Swords. In the positive sense, like this is an energy that's just being very cautious. Like, I'm not going to disturb anything. I don't want to make any waves. If you're in your own lane doing that, cool, nothing wrong with that. But there is also this energy that's on the verge of burnout as well. So make sure you're not burning the candle from both ends too much. Now, this energy is watching on, right? We got the Page of Swords, the Seven of Cups in reverse underneath it. It just felt super locked in to me, of being observed. So again, there could be a thing or a situation that Spirit wants you to keep close tabs on, or maybe you're just getting a little more attention. Maybe someone's a little locked in on you. Very possible. Moving to the back end, we have the Ace of Wands with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This does feel like a bit of a false start, where it's like, I was so close. Oh, I would have got a better result if I just waited a little bit longer. So there could be something coming up where a Spirit's just like a little longer, Weaver, just a little bit longer. Wait until everything lines up just right. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this going here. What's in the shadows for the lovely Libras? Super unique. Super unique. Okay, we got the Ten of Swords in the shadows, and I don't want anyone to get nervous about that because this is a very common shadow card, right? Especially when dealing with more shadow side work. Now, the Ten of Swords is classically a card of endings, right? It could also be a card of pain, and don't freak out. We've all had Ten of Swords moments in our lives, some more than others, right? So this energy can linger for some time. So that's one thing I'd say watch out for in this time is like things that have been lingering under the surface that might arise out of the blue. Just watch out for that. I don't want to say it's like getting triggered or anything like that, but the Ten of Swords in the shadows, unless you are in full on deep healing mode, which some of you could be with this Ten of Swords in the shadows, just watch out for things that kind of creep back up on you. So whether it's thoughts or habits or situations where like, oh, I haven't thought about this in a long time. Now it feels like I'm right back in it. Just watch out for that with this here. So we're just going to put that down right there, Libra. That's what I got for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The August calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the August subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 winners at random to either choose the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which is an absolutely stunning deck, or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's two simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in your reading today, which one intrigued you the most? Which one caught your attention, and why? And you put that in the comments, you'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab / post tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.